Hello, we have some more Disneyland Paris breaking news for you. It has been released that the Disneyland Paris Fast Pass system is to be abolished. It's gone, it's done, it's not coming back. What is to replace it is a paid Fast Pass equivalent called Premier Access. In addition to this, they are also bringing back the standby pass from last summer, which is kind of like a virtual queue system. So what does all this mean for you and your holiday? I'm going to get into that now. In the interest of full disclosure, this news story actually broke yesterday. I wasn't going to do a video on it, but then I slept on it. I thought about it a lot. And you know what? This is one of the biggest changes operationally to Disneyland Paris in the last decade. If you take away all the crazy stuff that's happened with COVID, this is the big one. So it needs to be talked about, and it needs to be talked about now. But first, you need to know what the Fast Pass system used to be, if you're not already familiar with that. There would be kiosks placed next to the major rides in Disneyland Paris, such as Big Thunder Mountain, Space Mountain, Buzz Lightyear, etc. You would have to walk across the park to these kiosks with your ticket, scan your ticket, and then you would get another little paper ticket with a return time printed on it. You would then return to that ride later in the day at the time printed on your ticket, and you would be able to get straight on the ride, in theory without queuing. Sometimes there was a bit of a fast pass queue as well, but definitely quicker than it would be to go in the standby queue. So what has that been replaced with? Right, Premier Access starts at €8 per person per ride. So that's the equivalent of just under £7. So if there's 3 of you wanting to ride Space Mountain, it's going to come out at about 20 quid. Okay, for 3 people to get a fast pass on Space Mountain. Now, this isn't something that you buy in advance. It isn't something that you pay onto your holiday package. It is an in-park, in-app purchase. So you go to the ride that you want to ride, you see the queue is 60 minutes, you think, I don't want to ride that. You go on your app, you buy an access pass, and it will give you the next available slot, which is expected to be quite soon after you purchase it. I don't think it'll be like the other fast pass where it's 3 hours ahead, and then you just get straight on the ride. But you've bought that in person. Now, don't worry if you don't have a smartphone or you're not smartphone literate. There should be kiosks dotted around the park and cast members to help you purchase this, because goodness knows Disneyland Paris does not want to lose a sale. It is important to note that the €8 figure stated is a starting price. This will be for off-peak days, probably weekdays, not busy days. Now, I couldn't find a reliable source for a top end price, but people were talking about 15 to €20 per person. So that comes out quite eye-watering just to get on a single ride. So let's say you don't want to do that. Don't want to stand in a 60-minute queue. You don't want to pay €60 for the privilege. So what do? Well, this brings us to the other update. The standby pass was originally introduced last summer as part of the COVID restrictions to try and take the pressure off queues so they could social distance a bit easier. The idea is that when a queue gets to a certain length, a certain level of busyness, they didn't give a figure for this, but let's imagine it's 60 minutes, they will end that queue there, and anyone who arrives after that will be given a standby pass and told to return at a later time. Now, this is not a fast pass. You will queue, and you're likely to still queue a substantial amount, but it stops the queues themselves getting infinitely longer, just increasing with every new person who comes to it. So inevitably you'll end up queuing less time than you would if you just joined the end of that queue. And it also frees you up in the intervening time to, go and spend money in shops and go and spend money in restaurants, which at the end of the day is what Disneyland Paris wants. So what do you think to this? I think that it's been a terrible year and Bob Chapek wants his money back. That's what I think. But It has riled up the internet. It's riled up our team. We have got a lot of opinions to talk about with this. Not all the same opinions. We do differentiate on this particular subject, whether it will ultimately be a better guest experience with less queuing, or whether it's just money grabbing and a bit cynical. We'd love to know what you think, because we're going to talk about all this on our Sunday show. So if you put a comment below with your thoughts, you can enter the discussion as well. And if we think you've got a good point, you'll get your comment read out. Now, while I'm on the subject of the Sunday show, it might be a little different this week. The reason is I am recording this on Wednesday, the 7th of July, 2021. And tonight is the semi-finals of the European Cup, a football thing apparently, and if England win, England will be in the final, which is at 8 p.m. on a Sunday night. Now, between me and you, I would rather be talking to you guys about Disneyland Paris, but you know, boys. So it has been decreed that if England are in the final of the European Championships, we won't be doing our usual 8:30 Sunday show. We are yet to decide when we will film it, but we will be filming it because we've got a lot to talk about. We've got this to talk about. Annual passes have gone back on sale, or are going back on sale next week, I think. All this needs discussing. So if you want to know when we are going to do our live show this weekend, make sure you are subscribed and that you've clicked the notification bell, and then you will automatically find out when we're about to go live. So that's really exciting. Lots to talk about, lots of things to think about, different trips coming up in the future with all this change in operation. I can't wait to get into it. I hope you're going to join us. Goodbye.